Hey peeps, how's it going? Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, DSA proudly brings to you Above the Rim. This is the last episode before the regular season starts for the NBA, and we got a good one for you. And before we jump into the topics, let's go ahead and introduce you guys to the panel. Big Take will be here later, but he is running late. He has some errands to run, so he will be here later throughout the show, hopefully. If not, show must go on. But first and foremost, we have the heart of the city, 313 JMO. How's it going, Mr. JMO?
What's good, everybody? We back. We back. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, man.
And then, last but certainly not least, we have a very special guest today. Um, he's been a fan for a very long time. I got to meet him in the preseason game versus the Dallas Mavericks. He is known on Twitter as Pistons Post, and that is what he's going by here today. How is it going, Pistons Post?
It's going great. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. Short and sweet. I like it. So, JMO, can you go ahead and do roll call for us right quick?
I'll definitely do roll call. Make sure all you guys like the video, man. We about to have some fun, talk some basketball because the season is starting. We got Michael Mike in the building. What up, though? We got Alan Humphrey in the building. What up, though? We got Devin99 in the building. What's good? We got Abdul Terrell in the building. What's good? Adrian Starter in the building. Kyle Webb in the building. What's good? What's up, everybody? Make sure you guys like the video. We got James Willen in the building. Luke G in the building. What up, though?
All right, we're going to.
What up, though?
We need you guys in the chat right now to share this on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, MySpace. Put it on your Tinder account. Put it on whatever you have to get the word out there because basketball is back and we can't wait to talk. We got a lot of topics for you guys. We're not just talking Pistons, but we are going to go ahead and start out talking Pistons. For those of you guys who may have not heard the news today, the Detroit Pistons have officially waived Joe Johnson. He is no longer on the team. And instead, they kept Langston Galloway, Christian Wood, and Kyrie Thomas. Mr. J-Mo, why don't you go ahead and start us off with this one, man? What do you think of the move of waiving Joe Johnson, keeping Langston Galloway, and keeping the young piece, or I should say pieces in Wood and Kyrie Thomas?
Well, if you guys watch my video, if you haven't, you can go rewatch it. I wasn't really that much of a fan of getting Joe Johnson because I didn't think he could shoot the three ball. And I didn't think he was a better offensive player than Michael Beasley. I didn't think he can play defense. But this is not me about to rag and trash Joe Johnson. Nothing like that. I just feel like we had a lot of forwards on the team already, and we didn't need to add another forward on the team, especially one that's older and that couldn't help us defensively or stretch the floor. So him not making the team, I actually like it. I think that was a very smart move from the Pistons. Christian Wood is going to be the backup center. We're going to get into Drummond talk later, but Christian Wood makes you feel a little bit different about Drummond, if you know what I'm getting at, Drew.
Yeah, I do, and I don't know how I feel about it, but we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later on. And, so when I'm looking at it, I'm just saying, Kyrie Thomas, I thought he was one of the people on the bubble that wouldn't make the team. He's one of the players that I wanted to make the team. I think he's very underused. And Langston Galloway is still on the team. He's getting paid like $4 or $5 million. I might be wrong, whatever. But he's getting paid some money, and he's a trade piece, and I think we'll trade Galloway and try to promote Kyrie Thomas. We'll see how it goes. But Christian Wood making the team was a great, smart move. Same thing with Kyrie Thomas, and I'm looking forward to see if they're actually going to use this season.
All right, real quick, Mike, you're freaking me out here, man. You accidentally unsubscribed to me. Come on, man. But you made up for it with this great comment. If you can dodge a blue wrench, you can dodge a ball. I love dodgeball. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. So you went out and totally redeemed yourself. So if you guys have not subscribed to me, not only to myself, but 313 JMO, or if you have not followed Pistons Post on Twitter, their links will be in the description, as all of the DSA members in there as well. Speaking of Pistons Post, man, what do you think about the move of waiving Joe Johnson and keeping Langston Galloway, Christian Wood, and Kyrie Thomas on the team?
Well, my opinion on the Pistons waiving Joe Johnson is, I feel really good about it. And inside, I'm kind of happy we kept Kyrie Thomas just because of the benefits that come with it. He is only 24. Dwayne Casey is known for developing players. With Joe Johnson out, that gives more playing time for Sekou Doumbouya and Christian Wood. And Christian Wood is just looked phenomenal. He's looking like a huge role player for us. I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah, man, I agree. Personally, on me, I feel bad for Joe. I see a lot of you guys in the chat feel bad for Joe. It just seems like a kind of a waste of time. He worked out with several other teams, and he could have been a better fit for a different team. It
Yeah,
just
I
feel
just
like
feel like we're the only team that gave him a chance. I don't think those other teams wanted to give him a chance.
I
That's true.
think with Milwaukee though. I know Milwaukee's one of the teams that was working them out. He uh he might not have been a big factor or contributor to that team, but they're a championship contender, and you need people like Joe Johnson, the old veteran who knows how to win games on those rosters, whether they play or not. Say what you want about his performances or not, he would have been a good leader for this team. He wouldn't have been a Jose Calderon or a Zaza who, have made deep playoff runs, but weren't really the main guy. He was the main guy. He's played with a lot of great people in the league, especially an older Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. So I'm sure they rubbed off on him a little bit, but he was the leader outside of Josh Smith and Al Horford in Atlanta. That was a pretty good team. That's an underrated team. So I mean, he's got acknowledges. Devin 99, you are reading my mind, man. I was just about to say that. A report said that he was having swelling on his Achilles. So I'm sure that was a huge part of what the Pistons were thinking about making this decision. So there's a lot of key factors here. The fact that he's 38,
Yeah.
you don't really want to have a player with Achilles issues on your team who is that old and not going to be that big of a contributor. Plus, personally, I have to stick by my word that I've been talking about for like the last year and a half. You don't trade away young players. It always comes back to hurt you, especially with this franchise. So I'm glad that they kept Kyrie. Langston, on the other hand, he could have gone. Personally, I think Langston's still going to be a
For who?
target. Huh?
I said for who?
For trade market wise or just for roster sake?
I'm just saying, like, for the roster, they not necessarily the trademark, because nobody loves Langston, but thinking about it, like, who would we replace him?
Well, if we were going to trade him, we would have traded him for like a second round draft pick, and then Joe Johnson would be able to make the team still. So that was just to incorporate Joe, which I would have took Joe over Langston Galloway because really I don't see Langston getting a whole lot of minutes with this team. At least he shouldn't. I like the lineup that they messed with a little bit this season, or should I say the preseason, of putting D Rose, Luke Kennard, and Luke out there together. That's a very good 3-man punch right there. Then you're going to add a Christian Wood to it. You're going to put Thon Maker or Markieff Morris out there with it, depending on matchups. That's a pretty solid bench right there. And you got some shooters. When Derrick Rose attacks the paint, guys are going to collapse on him. He kicks it out to the shooters. Langston Galloway is just too inconsistent for my liking. He's an expiring contract, so you would have had some value. Plus, you would have kept a guy like Joe Johnson, who at times, not saying he would have done it for all 82 games or all season, would have made some key plays for this team. Not saying he's going to let it up. It's not the same Joe Johnson. I'm not mad we moved on from him, but I am kind of disappointed we kind of do what guys do to girls, kind of linger them on, and when they're ready to get serious, you cut them off. I mean, that's pretty much what just happened with both Michael
Well,
Beasley and Joe Johnson.
well, we should have kept. I mean, Beasley isn't. I told you he's not a locker room fit. But when I tell you, the dude is literally an automatic bucket, and I know a lot of fans, they don't know what it looks like to see a person just score on people so easily, and they just like Michael Beasley can score on anyone. So he would have been nice from a scoring perspective. But you guys, make sure you guys like the video so we can get this out to everybody and share it so we can get this out, man. We having some fun today talking Pistons basketball. The roster just came out, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Abdul Terrell and James Willis in the chat, man. And E-Dog, what's good, bro?
All right, Pistons Post, I'm going to move the next question on to you, man. What grade are you overall after seeing this official roster? I didn't put this in the question, so you guys aren't going to be prepared for this one. That's the way I like to do it. What grade, A through F, are you going to go ahead and give this 15-man Detroit Piston roster?
Well, I like the roster. I think we have a lot of depth, and I think we fixed our bench a lot. I'm gonna give it a B plus range.
Now, since you are the new guest, we've talked about this several times before I move it to JMO. What seed do you think the Pistons are going to get through the regular season?
I think we're definitely improved this year, and I'm going with the 6th seed.
All right, I like where your mind's at. All right, JMO, what grade A through F are you going to go ahead and give this Detroit Pistons roster top to bottom?
I'm gonna give it an A for one specific reason. And I mean, like, it's no validation for this, but Kyrie Thomas is on the team. I didn't. I've seen the Pistons do worse. Put it like that. And I think him being on the team, if we got to keep him on the team and give him some playing time. But I really believe in his potential just to be a good player for us. He just needs the opportunity. But besides that, got Christian Wood, Seiko. We got a pretty good roster, so it wasn't too many mistakes you could make. But making sure that Kyrie Thomas made that final roster is something that I think is very beneficial. And I'm gonna just give it an A from the perspective that the people that I wanted to make the team made the team. That's the way I feel about that.
With the exception of Carson Edwards, right?
Man, don't talk to me about Carson Edwards the GOAT. Every people who watched us when we were doing like all of our other shows, that I've been the biggest Carson Edwards fan. I told you we should draft him 15 overall, and he was gonna be a beast, and it was gonna be the biggest mistake ever passing on him. But it's cool. At least we got Seiko.
AT, this is Pistons Post. He is from Twitter. Does a lot of daily content on Twitter, breaking news and rumors and stuff like that. So if you guys have Twitter, be sure to type in Pistons Post. Got a lot of great content on there. So that is where you can find him. He is not a YouTuber, although he does have a podcast. Pistons Post, where can you find your podcast at, man?
You could find my podcast on Anchor right now. I'm planning to go to iTunes, but you could find my podcast on Anchor at PNL Post.
Well, that's a great podcast. I had to listen to it. This guy knows some basketball. So if you want to get a little bit of a younger mind on the situation, go ahead and check him out.
Thank you, my man.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on. It was an honor to meet you at the preseason game. It's always cool to meet some fans out there. But without further ado, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic because we got a lot of stuff to talk about in a short amount of time to do it in. We play 3 games this week. I believe we play 1 on the road and 2 at home. Let me pull it up right quick. I should have pulled it up before I transition.
Yeah, we play Pacers away, Hawks at home, and then Sixers at Sixers.
I appreciate you for covering it up. First 2 games are back-to-back. So this Wednesday we are at Indiana, and then Thursday we come home and play the Atlanta Hawks the next night. We have a day off, and then we're at home versus the 76ers. J-Mo, man, what do you want to see in this first week of Detroit basketball? What are you looking to see in these 3 games right here?
I want them to destroy every team by 30. Man, let's start off the same season with a bang. I would love to see what Blake Griffin did last year against Philly at the beginning of the season. He gave him the 50 ball, give him another 50 ball. But I want to see some 3-point shooting. I want to see some defense, and I want to see I'm laughing at what I'm about to say. But I want to see as least amount of Reggie Jackson as possible, and as more as Derrick Rose as I can see. And I want to see a lot of Luke Kennard starting. But I'm not gonna let that go, y'all. Just to let you know, I'm gonna keep talking about this until y'all know that I'm right. But I want to see some defense and some 3-point shooting because I think that's where we're really lacking. Andre just play well, and leave it at that. Blake Griffin, I think he's healthy. We will see.
All right, Pistons Post, man. You know the schedule better than anybody. It's going to be a tough up and down schedule all year. What do you want to see in these first 3 games, the first week of the regular season? What are you looking to see from the Pistons so far?
Well, really what I want to see is how because I feel like our bench has proven themselves. I want to see our starting lineup play. I want to see how Tony Snell affects our game plan and how Dwayne Casey handles the minutes because we have a stacked roster and I don't know what he's going to do with minutes. So I want to know if it's going to be Reggie Jackson and Dre, or is it going to be all Blake Griffin? Are we going to incorporate Tony Snell? There's a lot of questions.
There is a lot. We got 30 people in the chat, only 22 likes. Let's be sure we get that to a perfect 100%. Be sure to hit that likes button as you guys are coming in. That was a tongue twister. I can't believe I stumbled over that. But for me, the first 3 games, it's really important because it's going to set a tone on how the season is going to go. Now, this team has gotten off to fast starts probably the last 3 to 4 years under different coaches. It's not the end-all, be-all. But you want to start out fast. You want to close fast. You want the middle to be fast. You don't want to have these up and down spurts. What we were like 14-6 to start the season last year, or 14-4, or something like that, and then we went below 500 by the All-Star break. That cannot happen. Now you're not gonna win all 82 games. Blake Griffin's already starting to get banged up already. He's got the hamstring, which that's going to be the next question here in a second. They have to, I'd say, at least win the Atlanta game. If they go 1-2 this first week, that's a win in my eyes. Not saying that they're going to go 3-0 or 2-1. Indiana's a very underrated team. I think a lot of Pistons fans are looking at the game like, oh man, we should win that game. And I'm not penciling the Atlanta game as a win either. There's a very good possibility we might start out 0-3 because we're coming off a back-to-back. Atlanta's got a lot to improve. I like Trae Young. I like Collins. They got a lot of good young pieces over there. They're hungry and unpredictable. And, they gave us the business last year, especially Trae Young to Bruce Brown. So don't pencil any of these 3 games as a win. It's going to be very interesting. The Pistons have to play well. But let me transition to you a bit, Pistons Post. Blake Griffin's dealing with a hamstring issue already. Yikes. Dwayne Casey has said that it's day to day. Do you think that we should rest any player this first back-to-back series or what? Or do you think Blake Griffin's going to be okay? I know it's kind of a long, weird question, but let's go ahead and take it with how you feeling.
Yeah, I was really thinking about this a lot, and I think we should play Blake Griffin, but limited minutes, because this first week, I think, is very important to our season, because if we start off the season fast and get that confidence, we have the easiest schedule before the All-Star break, but we have the hardest schedule after the All-Star break. So we need to get that confidence up and get it rolling, because we're facing some hard teams early. So I think we should play Blake's limited minutes and kind of progress him into full minutes.
All right. J-Mo, man, what say you? What shall we do with Blake Griffin? Should we rest him one of these games during the back-to-back? Is this injury for his hamstring? Is this a lingering injury? Well, I guess it is a lingering. But do you see it being a problem down the road?
I'm only worried about Blake when it comes to knee injuries or like ankles, stuff like that. I think the injury is something that you have to pay attention to. I don't want him playing back to back. And I know you saying you find if we start off 1-2, I'm not. Because I think we can beat all 3 teams. It's just about going out there and executing. But I feel like you don't play him the first game of the season against Indiana. You play him the first home game against Atlanta. You play him against the 76ers. And you see how well he can play. But I don't want him playing too many minutes. I feel like these early games, we got a lot of talent on the team. So let's throw some bodies out there. Take a lot of pressure off of Blake, because if he feels like he's going to have to put on his Superman cape again, he's going to start forcing it and doing too much. And why is it always Blake? Hey, Andre Drummond's supposed to be somebody. We need to be able to depend on our other players, and that comes from coaching and the point guard play. So I think you play him like 28 minutes, both of the games, see how the hamstring does, and then you use Derrick Rose and Luke Kennard and Tony Snell was looking really, really good in the preseason. So you use him and Marquise Morris and Christian Wood. Like, we got a lot of bodies. This team it's a nice roster that we built. So if he's starting coming to the season with an injury like this, you don't want to put too much pressure on Blake. Like I said, play him 28 minutes. And if we lose the games, we lose the games. But I think we should be able to win at least 2 or 3 of these games.
Alan Humphrey said that he thinks that Wood and Drummond can play together while Blake is out, and I absolutely love that. I think that is a big factor in why we kept Wood. Pistons Post, man, do you think that Wood and Drummond would be a good starting 4 and 5 while Blake Griffin is out? If this is the case, say he can't play game number 1, say he's out with that hamstring, does Christian Wood start, or are you putting Thon Maker in there, or what would be your replacement for Blake Griffin if he does not play?
Well, Christian Wood, I absolutely love his athleticism, and Dre with his rebounding, I think it would be an awesome mix. And my favorite player is Thon Maker. I think he has so much potential, but I would start Christian Wood over him just because of the athleticism and how much he could benefit with Dre's rebounding. So that is my answer.
I like it. J-Mo, man, let's go ahead, man, with you. Do you think if Blake Griffin is out, would Alan Humphrey be right to say that Christian Wood and Drummond would be the best fit together while they are out?
I don't know about that because we've never seen them play together in a regular season before. We've seen Thon and Andre play. I would start Thon Maker because we got to have shooters on the floor, and Thon Maker isn't some great shooter. He really isn't. But Christian Wood can't shoot the three ball like that, so I would rather have him out there to stretch the floor and give you that power forward type feel. And Thon Maker, he still plays good defense and can block shots and protect the rim, and he's used to playing with Andre. I'd rather bring Christian Wood off the bench as a energy bunny to give us something when Andre goes to the bench. We replace him with Christian Wood, and then you replace Thon Maker with Marquise Morris, and maybe you have Marquise Morris playing with Andre instead of either one of those guys. So that's the way I feel about it.
Man, Devin99, I don't know if we're on some kind of wavelength, but man, dude, you are reading my mind. I think Marquise Morris would go ahead and get the nod because they did not experiment too much with Thon Maker or Christian Wood playing with Drummond in the preseason. Now, Drummond did play with Thon Maker in the postseason last year, and Giannis had his way. Now, Giannis is a tough guard. I don't really want to put too much emphasis on that, but it didn't really work the way we thought it was going to work. I think Markieff would be a better fit. Plus, we played with someone who is like Markieff already, at least Andre Drummond has, and his brother Marcus. Now, there are two different players, but at the same time, they have similarities, so they already kind of have a natural chemistry of knowing what one another is going to do. I think Markieff would get the nod at starting of the power forward, which would leave you with Thon Maker and Christian Wood coming in off the bench as the 4 and the 5. What do you guys think about that, JMO?
I don't know if one of them not gonna make it to the end of the season. Because if Marquise Morris is playing like we expect him to, and we know he can play like three positions, center, power forward, small forward, depending on if he's playing well, then you got Thon Maker and Christian Wood and Andre Drummond. His defining quality is his health and his ability to play a lot of minutes. So where are you gonna find minutes for Thon, Wood, and Marquise and Andre Drummond? Blake Griffin is still on the team, so I don't know if one of them are gonna last, but I like both of them at either the 4 or the 5. I don't like Maker guarding anybody like Giannis or like Joel Embiid or something like that. That's impossible. But Maker to guard Giannis.
I think the good thing about keeping Drummond, Wood, and Maker is that Drummond can play a little bit more aggressive defensively. So those early fouls are still a problem with him because we need him so much. But say he gets 2 early fouls, it's going to hurt when Blake Griffin's out regardless. But now you have these 2 high-energy guys who may not be the best players in the league, but at least Thon Maker, he goes out there and hustles. I like Wood's potential. I think that we got 2 good players that can help back up both Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin. These guys aren't just 5s. They're not just 4s. You might be able to consider Christian Wood in the future a 3 the way he can bring the ball up. Like that is probably one of the most impressive stats from Wood in my mind. Is he able to go coast to coast with it? Now he's not a fantastic ball handler or anything. But don't get carried away. I'm not saying he's going to start at the 3 or anything like that, but he's got some similarities at pushing the ball up there.
No, I think Christian Wood. The reason why I like him so much, and I don't know what Thon Maker is gonna do. I just have to see him improve. But Christian Wood can score the basketball, and he can play defense, and he can rebound. And when I say he can score, I mean if Christian Wood was our starter, he would average 15 a game. That's how easy he can score the basketball. So when you're replacing him with somebody who can score and play defense. Thon Maker was so inconsistent scoring. And then sometimes he'll be on the perimeter. Like I like when he protected the rim sometimes, as long as he wasn't getting back down. So protected it from a shot blocking perspective. But that's why Christian Wood is so valuable. We'll see what happens.
All right, man, you're the man. You got the right mindset. I like it. We got 35 watching us right now. Only 30 likes. Let's get those 5 likes in right quick. And then throughout the show, man, you guys can send us any question. We're taking our sweet time with this one today. So we'll be answering all the questions to the best of our ability. There's a lot of you guys here. But Piston Post, I didn't get your thoughts on having Christian Wood and Thon Maker in as the backup 4 and the 5. What do you think about those two backing up Blake and Dre?
I mean, I'm really happy about it. I love Christian Wood. I love Thon Maker. I think Thon Maker is going to be great one day. Christian Wood has already proved everything. I mean, he's been awesome, and I am happy about it. I have no problems with it at all. I have no problems.
Hey, we got everything King in the building. How's it going, man? I hope you have a good vacation coming up. You desperately need it. You're starting to get some gray hairs in there. Not pointing that out or anything, but appreciate you for listening, man. If you guys are not subscribed to Everything King, I don't know what you guys are doing here. This guy talks it all.
Right, no doubt, man.
I mean, without him, I'm sure most of us aren't here today. So thank you, Everything King. Get some Just for Men while you're at work, but let's continue while we are going. I see a lot of guys commenting about Bone. Now, I believe Bone made the two-way contracts where they're going to bounce him between the. But I believe he's on the two-way contracts where he's going to bounce from G League and the main roster. Where do you guys see Bones?
He did technically make the team.
Yeah, he's on the. We didn't cut him or anything. He's still with us, but the two-way contract lets him bounce between the G League and the regular roster. JMO, man, I know you're big on Bone. Where do you see Bone's future with the Pistons, and how are the Pistons going to utilize him this year?
I feel like I'm being mean and upset when I feel, because I'm not attacking Reggie Jackson. I just feel like we need to move on, and it's about moving everybody else up, because to me, he could be a future starting point guard, future backup point guard for us. I really like. It's nothing about him that I don't like, and I'm just paying attention to the game of basketball. I'm not being biased. I'm looking at him. He can score the ball. He can shoot the ball. He can pass the ball. He can play defense. He's athletic. He's a good slasher. All he needs to do is learn and grow. That's why I think we put him on a two-way contract and see how he does in the G League. I think he's gonna tear it up in the G League and find himself a permanent spot on this roster. But I just feel like we need to start using these young guards and getting rid of these old guards. So Reggie Jackson, Derrick Rose, got to move on from these guys in the future, and we use guys like Jordan Bone, Bruce Brown, C, Kyrie Thomas, these young guards. And like I said, it's not nothing I really don't. It's just a lot of players in the NBA, but Jordan Bone doesn't have that many flaws. His only flaw just comes from getting used to the NBA. He has a really nice game on him. Like, I think he should play. He should get at least 5 minutes. Just throw him out there for 5 minutes, because I think he can play.
Man, I watched him in the summer league. To be honest, I didn't know much about Bone. I loved the reaction he got from his family and his friends when he got drafted. So whenever you see a story like that, you're naturally going to root for the guy. And I was blown away from him from the summer league. We really didn't get to see too much of him come preseason. It sucks, but I'm sure we'll get to see a lot of him play with Grand Rapids. Pistons Post, man, what do you see Jordan Bone's future with this team?
Well, really, I cannot agree with JMO more. I mean, I love his potential, and I want him to get 5 minutes too. I completely think he's athletic. I've never seen a guy that fast. I think he's got the whole package. Like JMO said, he could play defense, he could score, he could spread. I mean, he's a real deal. And I think with 5 minutes bouncing around the G League and the roster, I think he could show some potential and eventually be a starting point guard or a second string.
Hey, shout out to Bravo. Send us $1.99. I appreciate you so much, Bravo. Bones, the future backup point guard. I fully agree.
He said $10, bro.
Oh, he sent $10, yeah.
It shows me $1.99. It is $10. Okay, I'm just tripping. I've had too many Drew Wisers tonight. Bravo, though, man. I sent you. I'm doing multiple things. Cut me a break, people. Bravo, I sent you the link to join us in Hangouts. If you did not get it, let me know, and I'll send it to you on Facebook or something. We'll get you on today because we are talking basketball, man. Basketball is back. You guys agree? You guys agree with Bravo, though? Do you guys think that he is our future backup point guard, JMO?
Like I said, future starter or backup, one. Look, I think his potential is limitless. To me, when I see a player like him, like I said, I'm looking at your measurables. I'm looking at your offensive, your defensive skills. I'm looking at your intelligence. I'm looking at your injury history. Looking at him as a player, he can shoot. He can, he has floaters. He has layups, and then he has a special quality with his speed, and he can pass the ball. He was the reason that Tennessee offense was moving. He led them in assists. So when I'm looking at all of that, so it's like, how high can you go? Can you become a star in this league, or are you a backup? And I think it just depends on how he develops. We have to. That's something like take like 3 years. You have to see, because I don't know if he's just solely a backup with the speed that he has. If he can learn how to shoot the three ball consistently, like on consistent shooting 36, 37, this guy becomes a real player because his speed, and he has speed, and he has the passing ability down pat already.
Well, what say you, Piston Post? Do you agree with Bravo, who sent the $10 in? Greatly appreciated. Do you agree that Jordan Bone is a future backup point guard for this team?
100%. I completely think this guy has a whole package. He could shoot, he could play defense, he could spread the floor, he could pass in an amazing fashion. And like JMO said, a unique skill in his speed. It's insane. And I think with at least 5 minutes a game, he can develop and be a future starting point guard.
Hey man, I see people asking for Bravo. I sent Bravo the link. It's on Bravo to join now. The ball was in his court, man. He's got to join us. So we will see if he can make it or not. Like I said, Bravo, if you cannot get that link to work, let me know. I'll resend it to you on Facebook or something. But we will get you in here. I'm gonna do you Owen, do you have me on social media? It is easier for me to add you via social media. I get to talk to Bravo all the time, so I have him elsewhere. If you guys have social media, want to join the show or something right quick, we can go ahead and put you in right quick, because we want to get you guys involved more and talk some basketball. But man, I like Jordan Bone. Like I said, I was very impressed with all of his offseason storyline. His offseason storyline was awesome to me. I'm pulling for him. I hope he makes some kind of impact in the future of this team. But I think he's going to spend, or at least get the Kyrie Thomas treatment of spending his first few years in the G League. It's probably for the best for him, because not everyone's ready to contribute to an NBA roster right away, especially Sekou Doumbouya. I like Sekou. And it's going to transition to the next topic here. I didn't put this in the private chat, so again, you guys might cut off the topic, but it's what I do the best. I think that we're going to see a lot of Sekou in the G League this year. I just don't know if he's NBA ready. His body's not ready yet. We didn't get to see a lot of him come preseason either, and what we have seen of him, it's kind of up and down. The positives outweighing the bad, I think. He's going to be a great player for this team come, I don't know, not even 3-4 years. But I think a lot of the Pistons fans are anxious to get this young superstar going right away, which I've always been the person to pump the brakes, give him some time. You don't want to waste him, because if you put too much pressure on him, you're going to give him the Spencer Dinwiddie treatment, ship him out of here, and he's going to a different team and be good. So, Pistons Post, man, what do you think is the best scenario for Sekou this season? Do you think he's going to stay on the main roster, play the G League, bounce back and forth? What are you looking for Sekou this year?
I think he will bounce back and forth, just because this kid is 18. All right, he's only played basketball for 6 years of his life. He still has a lot of learning to do. And I feel that he has a lot of potential, but I think this year it's best for us to put him in the G League, just because he's only 18, and to let him develop.
We got $5 from the Prince. Well, I guess it's the King. Everything King. He says Dilly. I'm going to have to change that Drew Weiser into a Drew Light. I appreciate you, King, so much. Thank you so much. J-Mo, man, let's go ahead and pass that question to you. What are you looking from Sekou? I might want to grab a Drew Light or a Drew Weiser for your answer, though, because this is going to be a hot one.
Oh, yeah, you already know what's about the man. Sekou is the coach. Like, nah. First of all, shout out to King for the shout out. Alan Humphrey said he mad we passed up on Kevin Porter Jr. No, we should have got Carson Edwards, but that's neither here nor there. On the Sekou, I think him going to the G League is a mistake. I think he should play 10 minutes a game and this is the reason why. Yeah, he's only been playing basketball for 6 years. Like I told you, he's a basketball prodigy. But when I'm watching him play it on the court, one thing, he can stretch the floor, and he's really good in transition. I think you can make use of both of those skills without putting too much pressure on him. You throw him in the game in garbage time. You can throw him in the game like at the end of the second quarter, with like 3 or 4 minutes left to go, just to get him some continuity. Because I think everything with Seiko, I feel like everything he needs to learn about the NBA, he's only going to learn it by getting on the court. I don't think D-League is a waste of time because he's better than all of that. So I felt the same way when we were sending Luke Kennard to the D-League in his rookie year and he was shooting 40% from three. I just didn't understand. And I know Luke had his like up and down struggles, but it's going to happen with a rookie. But with Seiko, I definitely think he should be on the court just to advance his continuity. And if he doesn't play well, then you can send him to the D-League. But looking at him playing now, stretch the floor, and in transition, this dude is probably the best transition player on the team besides, I guess, Blake Griffin with a full head of steam. So I think we need to use his talents. I know Dwayne Casey will send him to the D-League for no reason. But I don't understand. What's the point of going to a league that you're going to dominate? That makes no sense.
I don't mean to cut you off, JMO, but Bravo, are you at work, man?
Yeah, I'm at work. What's up, guys?
Oh, man, Bravo.
What a legend.
You are wild, man. Don't you get in trouble for this, man.
I'm not. No, I'm on break right now, so I might see a patient, but hey, I'll be able to come back.
I don't want to cut JMO off because JMO's Mr. Hot Take.
But let Bravo go. Bravo was the highest. Bravo put me on the Seiko, so go ahead.
Bravo, man. Let's go ahead and get your take on Seiko. What are you looking to see from Seiko this year?
Obviously, if we can get him a few minutes on the floor, that would be good. That's the only thing. I think I need to go because I had a phone call right now.
Oh, just gonna leave us on a cliffhanger like that, man?
I will be back immediately.
All right, bro. Take care, man.
Yeah, I just think he needs 10 minutes a game. And like I said, I've just seen things from him that I don't see from other players that get minutes on the Knicks. With no offense to the Knicks. But I'm just saying, so it just
always throwing shade at the Knicks.
Hey man, whatever, man. Like Elijah Blake said Seiko is an Antetokounmpo type project. Well, Giannis played his rookie season. He didn't play a lot, but he played at least 18 minutes. I think Seiko should be getting 15 minutes a game because I'm just looking at his skill. Yeah, he's lost on defense, but in transition, he's unstoppable. And he can shoot. Everything he needs to learn about the NBA, I feel like he can learn it in the NBA as long as we don't put him in and no big moments and crunch times, stuff like that. But I think he has a value on this team, and I just don't want him to waste away in the D League for half a year. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but you gotta look at his position. He plays small forward, power forward. We have a lot of those type of players on the roster. I'm not saying they're better than Sekou or going to be better than Sekou because most of those guys are as good as they're going to get. And he's got all the talent in the world. And I think a year, kind of what they do with quarterbacks in the NFL who we'll take Patrick Mahomes, for an example. Got a year to sit and learn Andy Reid's offense and get to watch not a talented quarterback, but a very smart quarterback in Alex Smith play for a full season. Alex Smith is the king at making good decisions, probably a little bit too good decisions and not being aggressive or trying to make the big play. Now, it is the NBA. I'm not going to compare it to the NFL because it's totally different. But we don't see enough of that in the NBA, I think. But I see where you're coming from because the Pistons do it a little bit too much. I mean, we are just starting to see Luke Kennard get a lot of opportunities. Bravo, are you back, man?
Yes.
Let's go ahead and get your thoughts on Sekou, man. What are you looking to see from Sekou this year?
Man, I think Sekou is one of my main favorite guys I will have on the Pistons right now. He is the only guy with a 6'9" we have on this current roster at this point. He has the size, the potential impact on the floor if he gets the minute. But the problem is we know Casey very well, and we know Ed Stefan. They're not going to play the guy. He needs at least some sort of experience in the G League. I'm expecting him to get some more minutes, a few minutes, maybe in garbage time in the middle of the season. Potentially have some more times at the end of the season. I mean, that's the only thing I'm expecting from him at this point because the guy obviously is still raw and needs some development and playing with the American style of basketball. I don't know if he's going to get the time. I really hope so because the guy obviously has the size and he has the skills. I think he's a very good, talented offensively. And by the way, people say he doesn't have good defense. He's a very good defensive guy. He switches quickly on players and he follows them, so he can guard perimeter players very well. But as it stands, it's really hard to expect anything from Seiko because of the way our the coaches and the staff are looking to play with him. So he's probably going to get minutes on the G League, maybe garbage time with us. I mean, I see him playing maybe just like minutes over Kyrie Thomas, or maybe just like Kyrie Thomas. That's all I can see from him at this point.
Well, I appreciate that, Bravos. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll get back to you
Okay.
as long as you're not busy at work. But we appreciate you for coming out, working the two jobs. I love it, man. Owen, there, you man.
Yeah, I mean,
What are your thoughts? What are you looking to see from Seiko this year?
basically what I got of it is we released Joe Johnson. I don't have a problem with giving him minutes. He has a lot of defensive potential. You can throw him in right now. I think I don't have a problem with playing him off the bench. Casey has a lot of different lineups that he uses. So I don't have a problem with playing Sekou. I think develop his skills now. As you said with Giannis, he played a little bit, even though he's not great right away. Just give him the time and he'll get good.
Hey, it's tough to argue with that.
Yeah, my thing with Sekou is, like I said, all of the problems you see in his game can only be fixed by playing in the NBA. Like playing in the D League will fix some of them, but you're not gonna see a LeBron James and have to cover him on a switch on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna see Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Like I said, all of his problems or things that he needs to work on, I think it's best just throw him out into the fire for 10 minutes a game and see how he does, because obviously he can go in the G League and be a great G Leaguer, but to me it's just a little bit of a waste. Like I don't see why we would, when I'm just looking at the fact that he can shoot and transition, he's really good. And yeah, on defense, that first summer league game he was horrible. But when he was playing in the preseason, he was much better, even though he barely played. But I think he can learn a lot from Tony Snell and some of the other veterans. But he should be playing 10, 15 minutes a game. I just don't see why not, unless he's just looking that bad. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yes, for those guys who are in the chat asking, yes, Joe Johnson is gone. The Detroit Pistons went ahead and waived him today to make room for their 15-man roster. There was a couple of reports that he had some swelling on his Achilles, so I think that made the decision a little bit easier for the Detroit Pistons to go ahead and waive him. But yeah, he is no longer with the Detroit Pistons, and instead we kept Christian Wood, Langston Galloway, and Kyrie Thomas. So with that being said, let's go ahead and transition to the next one.
Hold on, Drew.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, if you guys make sure you guys like the video. I see we got a little bit of more people in here. We got 45 people in here, man. Make sure you guys like the video and sub to the Detroit Drew and the Big Take and 313 J-Mo if you haven't already, man. Let's continue, man. Let's go.
All right. This is a tough decision for the Pistons, and I have said this many times. I am not envious of this decision one single bit. They have a lot of options, but the biggest one is, what are they going to do with Andre Drummond? Do they trade him? Do they re-sign him? Do they let him walk? Pistons Postman, what do you think the Pistons are going to do with Andre Drummond?
Well, I'm a huge fan of Andre Drummond. I've always been. But I think the Pistons are going to re-sign him. I don't think the Pistons are going to go in full rebuild mode. I think they're going to try to build on what they have. I think the Pistons are going to try everything that they can to try to keep this guy, just because I think Dwayne Casey likes him, and some people may not like him, but I like him.
Owen, man, you still there?
Yeah.
What do you think the Detroit Pistons are going to do with Andre Drummond?
I mean, we literally just saw today teams are willing to re-sign guys. Jaylen Brown got money. There were some other guys I can't name off the top of my head right now, but teams are willing to pay for their franchise cornerstones, and that is what Andre Drummond is for us. After the Blake Griffin trade, obviously that was built to help develop Andre's skills more. So I think he will get re-signed. He'll get better, and I don't have a problem with it.
Well, here's some things you have to take in consideration. This is Tom Gore's boy. This is Tom. Right. Like he doesn't. I don't know if Tom Gore's having any children or not. If he does or does not, that is what he values Andre Drummond as. I mean, you guys have seen him drink a couple on the sideline and go hug Andre Drummond and just get completely wild. Tom Gore is really dumb sometimes, but he loves Andre. Andre needs to be valued. Man, I was there at game 3 of the playoffs last year, and man, he was pounding drinks back faster than I could ever imagine of. I could pound some back. So if he's a bad owner, hey, I'll give him that for being a good drinker, but owner, he might drink too much to be an owner. But yeah, they're going to go ahead and pay Andre. I don't see Andre walking. You guys are making good points with them re-signing Buddy Hield. I believe he got a $100 million contract. Jaylen Brown got a $100 million contract. You cannot tell me Andre is not as good or better than those players. So Andre is going to go ahead and get paid. I do not see him going anywhere unless he does not want to come back here, which that could be a possibility. But I think the Pistons are going to offer him the bag. He's going to secure it. Plus, it's really hard to replace someone like Andre. A lot of you guys in the chat think that rebounds are undervalued or overlooked, however you want to. You guys are on two sides of a fence. The things that Andre does doesn't always show up in the box score, but he impacts the game. Look at efficiency rankings of the team when Andre is on the court versus when he is off of it. It is night and day difference. This team goes as Andre goes. And it doesn't matter if Blake Griffin's dropping 30, 40, or 50. If Andre has a bad game, chances are we are going to lose. If Andre has a good game or even just a mediocre game, chances are we have a better shot of winning because of everything that he does. It's his intensity on the rebounds is unmatched. Yes, does he take plays off? Yes. Is he lazy sometimes? Yes. You can't fix those. He has his flaws. He's not perfect. J-Mo, man, why don't you go ahead and say your 2 cents on this matter?
Yeah. Here we go, man. So, I think Andre is he's suffering from the lack of talent around him. Tobias Harris was my favorite player on the team, and then we got Blake Griffin. But I think bringing Blake Griffin took a lot of pressure off of him. And the way I look at it is, even if I'm not really that big of a fan of Andre, I just don't see him. I mean, I don't really see a reason to get rid of him unless he doesn't want to be here. Or unless we get a trade that's just out of this world, but that's not gonna happen. I mean, like he's a good player. Even if Andre never got any better, if this was his ceiling, still an all-star caliber player, can play some defense and get rebounds. So, and I think he can get a little bit better. We'll see how that works down the line, but I just, don't give him a super max. That's a little bit too much, but you definitely can give him a max contract. He's better than Jaylen Brown, I would say. Buddy Hield, he's a nice player. So I'll say you pay Andre Drummond, unless he doesn't want to be here, and you get you a point guard that can thrive with him or Blake Griffin. You get you a wing. We just got the wing, and Sekou should have got Carson Edwards. But just pay the man, unless he don't want to be.
A lot of people say he doesn't play defense. I'm seeing that in the chat from several people. He's top 5 and steals and blocks. Defense is not only an individual player stat; it is a team stat. Andre is getting left on.
This is my thing about Drummond playing defense because, do y'all know that just because you get cooked on defense don't mean you can't play defense? If you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best defenders in the league, it's the NBA. Some of the best defenders in the league get lit up on a daily basis by other players. Just because you see Drummond getting cooked by the MVP of the mother effing league. Did you see what he did to Blake? Let's not talk about that. That was a crime scene. See what he did to Ben Simmons? Oh my lord, rest in peace. So that's just what I don't like. And 1-on-1, he can play defense. Like if you say Drummond can't play defense, to me, you don't really know basketball. I'm not even saying he's a great defender. To me, he's average. Sometimes he's good in the passing lanes, but I think overall he plays good defense more than he does bad defense night in and night out. And when he's the only one you can depend on and you got to back up, I think you'll see a lot better defensive effort out of Drummond. Now he can have Marquise Morris backing him up, Maker, Christian Wood. He can sit on the bench now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not the only defensive player. Against Milwaukee, he was our only defender. Now you got Marquise Morris. He plays some defense. So now you don't have to do everything. I mean, Drummond had to guard like 4 people. And if you know me, you know I'm not a fan of Andre Drummond, but you know what I am? I'm always objective about players and my team and other teams. And, people, they want Drummond. What do y'all want him to be? You want him to be like, I don't know what they want him to be. They want him to be like Shaq or something. Like, dude, he's a good player. End of the day, he's a good player.
Alan, man, if I could send you a super chat, I would for that comment. He says Ben Wallace got cooked.
Yeah.
Man, I can't pronounce names. No, I'm not even going to attempt it.
Sharif Abdul-Rahim. Yeah, Sharif Abdul-Rahim.
God bless you, J-Mo.
Killing dudes back in the day. Hey, man, you don't know about that. Back in the day, him and the Jet, my boy Jason Terry used to be cooking dudes. Yeah, he cooked Ben Wallace, bro.
And then Ben Wallace went on to win Defensive Player of the Year 4 times. So he proved your point there, J-Mo. And I think one person you forgot to mention in helping Andre Drummond out is Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is a real point guard, something that Andre has yet to play with. This is going to be the first year. Who knows how much Derrick Rose is going to play with that starting unit? Hopefully a lot, because he can help out Blake Griffin and Andre. And quite frankly, it's what the fans want. That's must-see basketball. I don't care if you're in Oklahoma or wherever. That is must-see basketball. To see Derrick Rose play with those two big guys, something that he has never done in his career for Derrick Rose. He's never had anyone like Andre. He's never played with anyone like Blake Griffin. Andre hasn't played with anyone of Derrick Rose's cape. Now, Derrick Rose is not the same D Rose. I understand. But he looks good.
Hey, he's still, man.
Yo, I got something on that.
He ain't that far.
Go ahead, man. What do you got for us?
I mean, watching him in Minnesota, playing with Karl Anthony Towns, he made him look really good. Now you get Blake Griffin, that's extra front court depth. Like you said, he's never had that. I mean, the sky's the limit, honestly. Like, he could be really good.
The thing about Karl Anthony Towns, it's not that he's a bad player, but he's soft and he plays outside the paint a lot. He's not in the paint. Andre is not going to get a whole lot of looks, at least high percentage shots outside the paint. He's probably going to shoot a 3 to 3.5 per game, right, wrong, or indifferent. But Andre's going to get all of his points in the paint. Something that he stretches his game out. Drummond's very good in the pick and roll. And what does Derrick Rose do a lot? Isolation, pick and roll. It's right up D Rose's alley. It's going to be a dream fit. Just hope that D Rose can stay healthy, and it will work very well. You got more to add on that one, JMO?
I mean, let's look at Derrick Rose's career. You can make an argument. I mean, I ain't saying we're a world beater team, but we might be one of the best teams he's ever been on. I mean, those Bulls teams didn't really have nobody but Carlos Boozer and Joakim Noah. Like, they didn't really have nobody.
Yeah, but that team was very tough defensively. That team gets overlooked as one.
Like, he's never played with a player as good as Blake Griffin.
No, not even close.
I'm excluding the Cavs. I'm not talking about LeBron and them. That didn't even happen. That was like the Cavs. But besides that, he has to be the best player he's ever played with. And Dre isn't, too low on that list. At least a top 5 or 6 player he played with. Luke Kennard off the bench, Marquise Morris. If Dwayne Casey can coach right, this team could be really special with D Rose.
I absolutely agree. Pistons post, man. What do you got to think about Derrick Rose? I mean, you were there at the preseason game with me. You got to see how fast and quick Derrick Rose looked. Do you think he's going to have a big impact playing with those two big juggernauts for us?
I think it's going to have awesome impact. Like you said, Andre Drummond, he's great to pick and roll, and Derrick Rose is great at isolation. It's a dream fit. And I think he realistically can win 6th Man of the Year this year. I think if he could stay healthy, he's going to be the X factor for our team. I think he's going to be huge, and I think everything will work out if Dwayne Casey does everything right.
So I know we kind of got sidetracked there because we got 3 players we were going to talk about. We got Andre out of the way. I think most of everyone in here said pay Andre. A lot of people in the chat said pay Andre. So I think majority vote says we're going to keep Andre. I fully agree with that one. Here's probably one less likely that we're going to keep, whether if we're just going to let him walk, trade him, what may it be. But Reggie Jackson's also a free agent after this year. Now, personally, I think Reggie's going to be in for a big breakout year. Fully healthy. He played all 82 games last season. His confidence is flowing. He's playing with a backup point guard in Derrick Rose, who is pushing him because a lot of the fan base is wanting Derrick to start. So when you got competition like that, I can't speak on every man, but as a guy who played high school, sports, middle school, little league, all of my life, you want to play hard when there's competition. I was a catcher in baseball, and 1 year I had to play with a catcher in little league who was supposed to be like me and him were the best catchers. We're on the same team. It drove me to play better, and I ended up beating him out at the position. So I'm looking for that same drive and that fight. So Reggie should be in for a big year. Now, what's a big year for him? 15 points, 6 assists, 3 boards. That is good for me. But is that enough to bring him back? J-Mo, man, I can't wait to hear what you guys say about Reggie.
I'll laugh at you like, what's a big year for him? 15 points. How many D-Rose have last year? Like, what are we talking about, bro? Oh man, Reggie Jackson. I don't know if he's gonna have this breakout year like you're saying. I think he's gonna be just like he was second half of the season last year, solid. But the thing that I don't like about Derrick Rose backing him up is it puts pressure on Reggie Jackson and it causes Reggie Jackson to force things and make bad decisions. I don't think we will pick him up because I think we'll go in a different direction. We'll see. Like D-Rose, like I was saying earlier, D-Rose might not even be on the team next year because we might really start to trust in our young guards. I think we have a lot of young guards that we want to develop, guys like Jordan Bone, Kyrie Thomas, Steve Mikhailuk, who can play 3 different positions, Bruce Brown, Luke Kennard. We got a lot of young guards that we want to develop. I think Reggie just, we need you to help the team. Don't make bad plays in crunch time if you're playing in crunch time. Just do you, man. Keep your head down, do you. But I definitely don't think we keep him that position. No, there's no way. He would have to score like 23 points a game, but there's no way he's doing it. So I think there's no way we keep him. I don't care how well he plays. Unless he scored 23 or something.
Well, what if he gives us a team friendly deal? One that's very cap friendly.
No.
Why? If it's cap friendly, the reason we can't move on for him because there was times, especially like the last 2 years when he was out with those ankle injuries, that I think most of us were ready to part ways with him. But that contract was just so hard to move that no one wanted to take it, and that's why.
Are you holding on to him for?
No, I'm not saying we should do it. I'm not saying we should. I was just asking the question. If he gives you a team friendly deal.
No, you gotta move on. Just like you gotta move on from Langston Gallup. You gotta move on. Like I said, I expect Reggie to be solid. I'm like second half of last season, but you have to move on. It's time. We gotta find a different guy at the point guard position.
So who would be your answer for that, JMO? Do you think we're gonna go in the draft and groom somebody? Do you think we'll make a trade for him? What do you think the solution for that is?
I have the most unorthodox. My answer is C. But I think Jordan Bone, I think give him a year to work on his game, and he could be something. I don't know about a starter, but I think we'll probably bring back Derrick Rose. But like I said, I like C, man. C, man, that dude is special. All he needs to do is some certain players to get out of his way so he can get a little bit more opportunity. We don't know what Bruce Brown is going to be. We really don't know, but I would rather maybe try somebody else in the draft. And if I tell y'all to pick Carson Edwards, actually take him. Don't pass up on him to get through this wing, going back to Lithuania. But anyway, this is just ridiculous. But no, you got to move on.
Bravo, you there, man?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, I'm gonna ask you this question before you get another phone call, man. What are the Pistons going to do with Reggie Jackson?
I think we're gonna move on from Reggie Jackson. It's just a matter of when is this gonna happen. Reggie has already had his time, and I think we need to move from him. He is his main problem right now is his defense. He's a very huge defensive liability. He cannot move, and he cannot, as you can see, he doesn't really penetrate as he used to be before. He's a good shooter, so I think he's a good still shooter at the ball. He can play a good shooting guard with D Rose, but he is not a good playmaker anymore. He's not a good penetrator, uh, weak defender, and I think we need to move on from him. That's in my opinion, and I don't think we should give him a fair cap-friendly deal either. We need to move on literally from Reggie Jackson. I mean, only friendly cap deal is maybe a minimum vet, and he's not going to accept a minimum vet, Reggie Jackson. So, I mean, I'd move on, get a new point guard, whether in the draft or make a trade, get an average point guard maybe would be better than Reggie Jackson at this point, I think.
Pistons Post, man. With the inside scoop, what do you think the Detroit Pistons will do with Reggie Jackson this year?
I really do think we should just move on from him. I think we've held on to him too long at this point. At this point, we should just move on. Like JMO said, unless he's averaging 23 points a game, either through trade or through the draft, we just need to get rid of him. I just don't think he's the answer for this team. I think if we get somebody else, it can make us a championship contender. I'm not saying we're not right now because there's always a chance.
No, we're not.
But I think if we just move on and either Kareem will play,
we're gonna have to end up playing Milwaukee in the playoffs, man. Milwaukee is really the only team in the East that I am super scared.
40 points a game, dog. You never know. What if Andre Drummond starts shooting a mid-range out of nowhere? What if Luke Kennard averaged 30? You don't know. It ain't basketball is the one thing I will say. It ain't over until you get beat, unless you Golden State with 60 All-Star.
If we play Milwaukee, it's pretty much over, man. We do not match up well against Milwaukee across the board. Now, they're really the only team in the East that I don't like.
Me, it's not Milwaukee. It's Giannis is LeBron in us right now. That's just what I'm saying. Like,
well, it wasn't even Giannis that was killing us every game.
Man, bro. Well, yeah, he didn't have to, though. But I feel like, since we'll be a better team, Giannis is going to have to, and we probably get crushed worse. But, end of the day, it's just Giannis. Chris Middleton is nobody. It's just Giannis, You never know.
I'm gonna hate to be in your comment section when Chris Middleton drops 30 on us. I'm more concerned of Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez is a tough guard for Andre. Andre does not do well with stretch bigs, and now that Brook Lopez has added that to his game, he's a pretty good shooter, man.
But that's why you got Marquise.
Yeah, okay, but Brook Lopez still got post moves. He's just going to back him down and bully him down there. Brook Lopez is probably one of the most slept-on players in the league right now.
Facts.
Hey, man,
at least offensively. Yeah. And he's a pretty good shot blocker, too, for not being super athletic.
Well, Brook was balling when he was playing with my boy Lonzo. That's why I wanted Lonzo for Andre, so he could turn Andre to a superstar. But, we want to get Frank Ntilikina and stuff.
Man, I'm glad I have someone on this show who can pronounce some of these names so I don't look so stupid. So, if anything else, J-Mo, thank you for doing that at the very least.
I'm sorry, Drew. Can I say something real quick?
No, go ahead, man.
Yeah, so I think if it's time to move on from Reggie, which it is, I think we should trade him for a young point guard that Dwayne Casey can develop. I think that's the best option. And drafting, I feel that takes a minute. I think in this team right now, I think we're in the direction we're going. We're trying to, in a year or a couple years, we're trying to be a must-win, like a win-now team.
I mean, the Pistons are kind of they're on the fence about doing that. They're kind of having a mini semi-rebuild while being competitive, and it's kind of a slippery slope because when you're able to get someone of Sekou's potential on your team while still making the playoffs is huge, but the salary cap is really what was holding this team back from being really competitive because you can't make trades, you can't sign anybody. You didn't really have any trade assets. So I think now that we have a little bit more, we have more young players, more expiring deals. We're about to have some cap. I think that the Pistons can start to slowly each year turn more and more into that team that is going to compete and try to do the win now. If that kind of makes sense to you. But what do you got for that, JMO?
No, I was gonna say the draft is. I disagree a little bit because I feel like in football, the draft is much more of a crapshoot. But to me, if you know the game of basketball, you select the right players. Look at San Antonio and some of the other teams. But like, we killed Alexander Walker was a person we could have took instead of Seiko. We could have took Carson Edwards. After we got Seiko, we could have took Kevin Porter. We could have took Keldon Johnson. There was plenty of good, solid point guards we could have took, and I was very upset that we had 2 first-round picks and didn't take one. But my point is, you can find those players. You just have to pick. You just have to know what you're getting, and you have to be able to, have to have a top-tier scouting department. But, maybe this year is just a special year for players. But, it's just very rare. You got to select it at the right time, and the Pistons have a lot of opportunities that they just pass upon when it comes to getting guards.
I'm sorry, can I just say something real quick?
Hold on before you do that. Bravo, man! You're in the show. You don't have to send any super chats, man.
This Friday, so.
I appreciate it, but all right, go ahead.
Sure. The show is.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. If you got something, man. Go ahead.
We gotta make it rain sometimes.
Hey, I'm all for that, man. You got the big bucks. Go ahead and share them with the people. I like it. Piston Post, man. What do you want to say?
In the draft theory you're going with, yes, it can work out, but it's a big risk reward. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But if in a couple of years we go to a must-win version, like right now we're not going to go into a must-win, but I think just trading for a young asset would be better that has proved themselves, just because there is a risk in the draft theory.
I mean, like I said, it's a slippery slope because the Pistons have several options to go. But if they're in the rebuild mode, why did they trade away the 30th pick? They could have took JMO's guy. They could have taken anybody. They could have took Taco. They could have took Kevin Porter Jr. I mean, there were some big names on that board still that they could have taken, and they elected to pass on it. Was it the right move? Probably not. I don't understand what they were thinking, but hopefully this is my optimism and my fan showing out. They have a vision, and trading away a person who would have had potential and a good future in this league, I don't know what they were thinking, but whatever floats their boat, JMO, man, what do you got for us on that one?
I mean, I'm speechless. Like, I literally, when we're doing a live draft show, I'm like, giving up this 30th pick is gonna be the biggest mistake they have ever made. And then all of these great players, but look, I'm not gonna dwell on it. I like Jordan Bone. He's one of the players we got, so we'll see if he develops into somebody special. Ravitas, let's hope he's somebody. I don't know. Like, it's just, I don't know. Because I didn't really understand. Like, getting Seiko, we that was a miracle. Like, I thought he was a top 10 pick no matter what. So we were happy about that. Then it went downhill. But I'm just focused on the team now. We got a solid roster. We got, Speed, Jordan Bone, and Kyrie, Derrick Rose. I'm just trying to look for some type of positivity, because I think you can win and build at the same time. You just have to do it the right way, and we're in a position to do it the right way. After this season, we'll have cap space to improve the team, and we'll really be able to see if we can be a top 4 seed.
Hey, I'm seeing a lot of shade being thrown at Taco, man. Put some respect on. He is the dark-skinned Boban. Put some respect on his name for that one. I saved this guy for last because I'm pretty sure I all know the answer for this one, but it is my job to ask it. And Bravo, I'm going to turn this one to you. Oh, you muted your mic. Are you there, Bravo?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, I'm going to throw this one to you right off the rip so that way you can continue working if something happens. Langston Galloway, plain and simple, man. What are we going to do with him? Is he going to be a factor? Are we trading him? Are we just holding him so his contract expires? What do you think we're doing with Langston?
Sorry, Piston fans. I think Langston Galloway is in the plans of Dwayne Casey. He
Ooh.
loves this guy. He keeps playing him. You guys see this every day. I don't think we're going to move on from him immediately unless we packaged him with Reggie Jackson and get a bigger contract. So I do see him in the bench unit playing consistent minutes probably every game, which I really don't like. In my opinion, I think we should trade him, get a younger asset, or just even package him. I don't know if we can do that. Um, the idea of trading him for a young player, I mean, even like Frank Ntilikina. Ntilikina is, I know he's not a good scorer. He's a poor scorer, but he's a young guy. He's only 21. He just turned 21. And I think we could have those assets for us in the future. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about Ntilikina. I'm talking about Galloway. Galloway, I hope we trade him, but it doesn't look like it's happening. He's going to stay on this team. Maybe next year he get a lower contract too. I could see him getting like a 4 million, maybe 2.5 million deal.
Well, and that would be nice, but Stan Van Dummy over here thought he was the second coming of Jesus or something and gave him the bag. And that was the problem with Stan Van Gundy, was overpaying mediocre players like Langston Galloway. And that's again
people in the comment section saying they like Langston Galloway. It's always good to know that people disagree. I love all the opinions out there, but whew.
Hey, give Langston Galloway credit where credit is due. He has got some of the best shoes in the game.
Facts.
Yeah.
So whether or not if he's good at basketball,
Galloway, my problem with him is a problem with a lot of players. Like, I cannot stand players that are literally streaky, meaning I'm gonna be off for 5 nights or I'm gonna be on for 5 nights, and that's what he is.
and again, that's why we overpaid for him. When you have someone like that, you don't want to pay them over $6 million. Like that's excessive. You don't want to do that. But like you said, he is super streaky. What, he had the opportunity to hit 10 threes without missing and in 10 different games or whatever it was. I mean, this guy has it. But like you said, he's streaky.
Is that really that impressive though?
Without missing, yes.
Is it?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, that means you shot 10 and 10.
He
That's
hit
100%.
like a couple threes a game and then sit on the bench and then come out, hit a couple more threes, sit on the bench. Like, I'm not saying like I don't know, man. Like, come on.
I mean, there's
Like,
certainly
I don't
worse stats you could be going after, like 10 missed threes in 10 straight games or something.
Yeah, like, definitely. I just feel like with Langston, all the shots he taking, Speed can be taken. That's the way I feel about it.
Well, I'm not trying to argue with that. I'm just saying I think maybe you try to use them to get your money's worth out of them, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Because if not, you're just having them sit on the bench collecting a paycheck. Which right now, Josh Smith is at home drinking a Drew Weiser, collecting a paycheck right now.
I think Bravo was right about Dwayne Casey is in love with this guy, so he will play.
Go ahead, Bravo.
You know what I don't like? You know what I want to say about Langston Galloway? The problem was him. He's taking people's minute. He's taking over Kyrie Thomas and Svi Mihailuk. We should not really play this guy over those couple of people. But I just don't know why we keep playing him. I know he comes in and shoots the ball sometimes. He knocks it down, which we likes. But the problem is he's taking over people's minute, and even he's taking over people development. So we shouldn't just play him this season as much as last season, because that'll be a problem if we do that.
Hey, we got some funny comments in the chat right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and shout these guys out. Truth Over Emotion said, "I'm surprised Van Gundy didn't trade 3 lottery picks for Luol Deng and give him the max." Hey, that sounds like a Stan Van Gundy move, in my opinion. Burner account went on to go ahead and say, "Can we just slap at the fact that Jaylen Brown got a 4-year, $115 million contract?" I was laughing when I first saw that.
We were talking about that off the air, bro. We were talking about that off the
air. Go ahead, JMO, man. What do you let's throw Buddy Hield in here. What do you think about these two players getting these $100 million contracts?
Well, I'll pay Buddy Hield because he can shoot, and like Buddy Hield can't just shoot; like he can shoot. Like when you in a conversation with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Ray Allen, and that's it. Like he can shoot that ball. He's an overall solid player. You know, it's not like he's going to get much better, but when you can shoot 45% from 3, we know that's higher than his average. But when you 89% shooter from three. You averaging 20 points a game. Yeah, I'll pay you $100 million. But Jaylen Brown, I don't know about that. I believe in Jaylen Brown and he can get better someday. I'm saying someday like it's far away because it might be far away. But I'm not giving him $115 million. There's no way. But when guys like Otto Porter, I think Otto Porter is better than Jaylen Brown. So I'm not paying Jaylen Brown. I'll pay Buddy Hield. I'm surprised they actually pay Buddy Hield, but at least Buddy Hield, like he can help you in games, playoff games, as long as he's on and he's been consistent with it, giving you 20 points a game. I would pay him, but I'm not paying Jaylen Brown.
Hey, I think a lot of us are laughing at that. Pistons post, man. What do you think about the Boston Celtics giving Jaylen Brown that multi-year, $100 million contract?
That's just absolute BS. It's horrible. Jaylen Brown is not worth that money. He's not. He's shown it. I mean, maybe, just maybe, he can get a little better. Me personally, I have a little hope in him, but most of it is not. I just don't have hope for him. I just don't think I don't see anything there.
I've seen something before I turned it to Bravo that 1 year Shaq was getting paid $17 million a year. I can't remember what year it was, but he was the highest paid player in the league. That number has obviously been shattered, and those guys are pretty close to making the same amount of money, if not more. Bravo, man. What do you think about these guys who are just not all-stars, but what do you think about Buddy Hield and Jaylen Brown getting paid?
Well, I'm going to be a little bit different on the controversy in here. I think it's a good move for the Boston Celtics and a good move for the Sacramento Kings. You know what? They guaranteed a contract for 4 years with those two guys. They're both good players. Jaylen Brown is a good player, and Buddy Hield are good players. They might not worth the money, especially Jaylen Brown, but they guaranteed the contract for 4 years. It's really hard in this NBA season to guarantee a contract with those players as increasing in the number of cap level for each team in the next few years. So by doing so, they're tying those contracts to longer deals, and they also can be considered as tradable assets. Jaylen Brown, $115 million is a good contract. You can trade him for any good player right now in the league. You can trade Jaylen Brown for Andre Drummond, no problem. So I think it's a smart move from the Boston Celtics, and I think he could be moved. They extended him. That doesn't mean he's not going to be moved. He could be moved next year or something like that.
Pistons Post, man. You got a shout out for somebody?
Yeah, I want to shout out my man Dane Stream and my man Noah Jolai. I'm watching right now. Just want to shout them out.
Hey, we appreciate each and every one of you guys in the chat. 1 second. We got one more person. Noam, you there, man?
What's happening?
What's going on, man? You always here on perfect timing. Better late than never. Fashionably late. How you doing, though?
I'm doing all right. Just got home a little while ago. First things first, welcome back. Bravo!
What's up, Nom?
And hello to our guests.
What's up, man?
Not much. And I just couldn't help to hear that. I hear that Jaylen Brown just got overpaid more than some no-talent singer. Because ain't no way you telling me he just got $115 million. Is that all right?
117
Well,
and some
I
change.
think Bravo was.
Wait. How
Bravo
did
hit the nail on the head.
How did he make the same money? Wait, how did he make the same money as D'Angelo Russell? Wait a minute. Don't they got like the same contract? I think that's a little too much. I can understand Buddy Hield getting an extension, but Jaylen Brown, I don't know, man. I always felt like it was a consistency thing with him, and the Celtics to me are really, in my honest opinion, they're going to be a good team, but they're really holding themselves back down the time, which is probably going to be good for us because they don't have enough power up where the bigs are. They need some force and some youth there. I don't trust that team. They're going to be heavily guard oriented, and I just don't think paying the money to all these guards. When you think about Kemba Walker, and you think about how they're one of the most depth guard teams in the league, I think they need some bids. They need to cash out on some bids. Like, they don't have enough up there, which is why I'm real confident about the Pistons this year.
Hey, real quick, while we're still talking about contracts before we try to change topics here, Burner Count wants to know, can we talk about Siakam's $130 million contract? He would love to know our opinion. Personally, I'm going to go ahead and pass this one to Bravo because I know Bravo is very high on Siakam. Siakam
Yeah.
is a very good player, but Bravo, man, do you think he got overpaid or do you think he got the right amount?
I think he got the right amount. He deserved it. He's a good player, and also they secured his contract for the next 4 years or 3 years. At this stage, as you can see, all teams are securing their good players, and I think Toronto Raptors did the right move by securing Pascal Siakam next 4 years. You have a good player, and you have a good contract for trade in the future also.
And, I think that the Raptors are kind of looking at it like this is the guy we're going to build around for the future. They went all in, they won their championship. Now they're kind of rebuilding, and he's really the face of the franchise. Pistons Post, man, what do you think about Siakam's big payday?
I think he absolutely got the right amount. I think this kid is already something special, and he's gonna turn into, I think, an all-star and a superstar of the franchise. I think 130 mil is right. I think that they got him for 4 years is amazing, just because his development is just getting better and better and better every single year. So in 3 years, he's going to be amazing. And so I think the Raptors made an awesome move here.
Nomus, man, newest member to join the panel. What do you think about Siakam's big contract?
I kind of love it. There's room for criticism for it. I love it, though. It almost reminds me when we gave Dre his first extension, a little bit, but it's different. Reason why there's one thing I will criticize about it is that we don't know how well they're going to be able to construct. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't have money for the future, but it's like, okay, you hanging on to Kyle Lowry for dear life. And then you got a lot of role players there. You're expecting him to really develop into that structured backbone of the team to really carry him. That's what this signing kind of says. So if you're cashing in on him, that means you're expecting to win in the future when you get new guys in. So he should be really hitting to real stardom maybe by the time to get almost near that road of the contract. So they got to hope that they can keep him protected, not only just pay him, but protect him because, that you're basically saying this is your marquee guy now. You give him that kind of money. You don't give that kind of money to a role player. You're definitely giving that guy money because this is the anchorman that you expect to be. So if you're saying this is your guy to build around, it's up to the Raptors to see how they keep the rest of the team solid because they picked up contracts for what's his name, Mark Gasol, and the only reason why they even traded for him, remember, because they didn't want to pay Jonas Val prior another big extension either. And then you think about the same thing again with Kyle Lowry. So at some point, this is the guy you got. This is the guy y'all cashing in on. I like him personally. I wish we could have got him. We probably would have failed with him.
We do got him though.
Yeah, I know that. But probably a better version. I know. But yeah, I like it overall. I think it's a good move for him.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pass the mic to J-Mo, man. What do you think about the Raptors going ahead and giving your boys? I almost said Sekou. What do you think about them giving Siakam a big payday?
I think it's the greatest move they made in their franchise history since getting Kawhi Leonard. Look, I don't care about anybody that think they know anything about basketball. Siakam is 150% the real deal. We saw what he did to the Pistons. Gave us 37 at home. All I know is I pay attention to the biggest moments in NBA history. Siakam was in the NBA Finals. The last Game 6 of the NBA Finals, Siakam was the best player on the floor, had 26 points. He was the best player on the floor, not Steph, not Kyle Lowry, not Van Vliet. I know they played well. Nobody, not Clay. Siakam was the best player on the floor in the Game 6. In the first game, Siakam. This is the NBA Finals, bro. Siakam averaged 25 points a game in the NBA Finals. The dude's a star, and he's going to be a superstar. I know people are talking about his age because he's 25, 26. But just like Sekou, he hasn't played that many years of basketball. So even though he's older in age, unlike Sekou, who's much younger coming into the league, he hasn't played that much basketball. And now you see him developing. He can shoot. He can play defense. He can guard multiple positions. He can dribble. He can slash. He's good in transition. I think Pascal Siakam is seriously a player. Raptors do not win the championship without him. Like, the man averaged 25 points a game in the finals. Like, what are we talking about? So, for the people who say they overpaid him, I just don't understand what they're looking at. But I think he might be a little bit underpaid. I think they got a little deal because I think he's going to be one of the best players in the league.
Well,
They will make the playoffs.
I think a lot of things that we're seeing now with athletes is backing out of their contracts early and getting those extensions. So if he makes an all-star team, if not 2, if not 3, whatever it is, he could tell them he wants more money, which we're seeing that a lot more in not only the NBA but the NFL as well. So I mean, there's always opportunity for him to get more money during this deal. So very curious to see where his career is going to go from here. But let's go ahead and transition into some more NBA news. For those of you who have not seen this one either, because you aren't really out there in the NBA community, you're only here for the Pistons. Zion Williams, the number 1 pick in the NBA draft, tore his meniscus. He is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. Now, Pistons post, man, I had high hopes for this guy. I know J-Mo did, and I know Bravo did. I think Bravo might have called this one. I'm going to pass it to him in a second. But Pistons post, Matt, do you think Zion is going to go ahead and be a bust because of injuries? Or where do you see his future going on from here?
Look, I know nobody will agree with this, but I don't know. I've always kind of thought Zion was just going to be a bust just because in college, I get he was the most dominant player in college, and he's the most dominant player in college I've ever seen. But he's not going to walk in the NBA and dunk on people like he did in college. But when you're his weight and you're athletic as he is, if you have a hurt knee, that's not going to help your case when you're that athletic and if he loses a little weight and his knee heals perfectly, yes, he can be good and prove me completely wrong. But I think this really does affect him a lot just because of his athleticism.
Bravo, man. You there? I'm going to go ahead and say he's on the phone or something. All right, J-Mo, man. This is your boy. This is your team.
What's up?
Are you there, Bravo?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pass it to you then because I know you're a busy man multitasking. Appreciate you coming on the show.
That's okay.
Do you think Zion's going to be a bust because of the injury? He's already been hurt twice now this season, and it hasn't even started yet.
I don't know if he's going to be a bust. I kind of called it like after the draft. I don't think he's going to be the rookie of the year, but because of the injuries, you can see his knees and his weight. And this is a meniscus tear. It means it's going to weaken the joint. A surgery automatically in your knee is going to make your joint weaker, and you're vulnerable to get ACL tear or PCL, posterior ligament injury tear. So I don't know what's going to happen to him in the future. We might looking at another D Rose career just like him. I do not think he's a bust, though. I think he's a good player, but I'm more. I don't know. I keep telling people, Zion Wilson is more like Big Baby Davis 2.0. I don't see him as much as like a rookie of the year.
Well, I mean, put some respect on Big Baby Davis, but J-Mo, man, I know it's your boy, man. Your time to shine. You're in the spotlight. What do you got for us?
Well, Zion isn't my boy. Lonzo's my boy. I wasn't really.
My fault.
Yeah, no, I just gotta let everybody know. I will stand on the stand and defend Lonzo until right, because I know I'm right. But anyway, Lonzo is the reason Zion's playing so well. But man, Zion can miss the whole season. He's still gonna be a superstar. He can miss the whole season, and I could care less. Ben Simmons missed his first year. Blake Griffin missed his first year. Zion is the opposite of a bust. I mean, he turned Rudy Gobert into Mitch. So, I mean, this dude is averaging 29 and he's playing. I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm very impressed because I thought it was foolish to even mention him in a sentence with LeBron James, but he was looking like he was going to be better than rookie LeBron. Yeah, I said it. He's He's gonna be the leading scorer on that team. He's gonna average 20. When he comes back healthy, he'll average 20. He won't win Rookie of the Year because he won't be healthy enough. But I mean, he scored 29 in like 28 minutes on Utah against their starters. I mean, this dude is something else. Like, I'm so impressed with how I didn't think he would be able to score one-on-one. My thing with Zion was like on the wing, 1v1, you take somebody off the dribble and score. And we've seen him do it. He's amazing in transition. I mean, only the thing Zion got to do is stay healthy. But to me, he's a guaranteed superstar unless he continuously gets hurt. But I don't think that's going to happen. Like I said, this dude is special. And the Pelicans would be fine without him. Luckily, the Pelicans are extremely stacked. They have plenty scorers to go around. But like I said, Zion can miss the whole year. He would be a bust. I could care less. I'm very impressed because if you watch what I said about, I wasn't really that. I won't say I wasn't that high on Zion. It's just like I'm like, he looks like like a dependent player that can only score on the inside. But watching him play, this dude is a complete animal. Like, he is the next guy that's gonna take over the NBA. So
Can I say something real quick?
He just got to be fine. Jason, Matt, go ahead, Post. What?
Zion can completely prove me wrong. And honestly, I think he might. It's just there's a lot of question marks with his weight and with his knees, if his knees will hold up with his weight, because he has a lot of jumping ability. His jumping ability is the best I've ever seen. And he depends a lot on the inside. So I feel like that might just affect his athleticism and quickness,
Well, I mean, you have to look at it this way too. Blake Griffin had a knee injury and he came in the league, missed his entire rookie season, and came out on fire the next season and dunked on literally everybody and their mom. So,
and I feel like they're very, very comparable. Only thing is Blake is 4 inches taller, but I mean, Rudy, he had Rudy Gobert looking like he was a rookie. Zion was the rookie. Like, Rudy Gobert was drawing fouls. Like, he just couldn't do nothing. This is the dude, Division Player of the Year. He shouldn't have won it. Giannis should have won it. But this is supposed to be the best defender in the league, and he got cooked in a preseason game. That's different, man. Like, that just don't happen. That's Zion's different.
Mr. Nomus J, you there, man?
Yeah.
What do you got to throw your 2 cents on the whole Zion being a bust?
I ain't gonna call him a bust because it's like, again, like with the whole Blake Griffin's comparison, it wasn't just Blake didn't just get hurt for that first year. Blake was always on the injured list. Like that was always a big thing with him, and it didn't really stop him from being well known. I just think, depending on how his body shapes out, if he I believe they'll have him work out more on his knee and try to get it stronger and this and that and third in the future. He's not probably destined to be Blake Griffin just because he has a injury that's going to keep him out for maybe a couple months or so. It's just that with this, I think he's already starting off better than Blake. He seems to already be somewhat finding his shot, so I think he should be more successful starting off as long as he stays healthy. I'm not really all that concerned. He's not being put in the same position either as Blake because to me that team is young and they actually got something. It seems like they're building to something. That team that the Clippers had with Blake on it, it was a little different. I don't think they're going to let Zion go over crazy with his athleticism and try to just bounce everybody. I think they'll try to control it a little bit because they don't want him to hurt himself and lose their investment year off their investment. So I think they're going to possibly learn from that. And that's why I think he'll be just fine, personally.
I want to say one thing. Out of every super hyped rookie I've ever seen in my life, I'm going to throw Michael Jordan and all the guys that I wasn't. I'm going to throw Larry Bird and Matt. Well, not Larry Bird and Matt. Not Matt. But Zion's going to the best team I've seen a number 1 overall pick with that amount of hype go to. Anthony Davis team was horrible, same team. KD team was horrible. LeBron team was horrible. All these other number 1 overall picks teams are like trash, but except for Markelle Fultz, but you know how that ended. But Zion's going to a team with a very good team with a lot of talented players, so it wouldn't be as much pressure on him coming back.
I don't
Facts.
wanna change the
Rui
topic.
Hachimura is gonna win Rookie of the Year now, though. You heard it here first.
Hey, he's balling. I like him, man. He's got a nice game.
Hachimura, man.
But I wanna go ahead and transition to one of the last topics here because NBA tip off is tomorrow night. Now, I believe the first game is the Pelicans. I can't remember who they're playing.
They are playing the Raptors, so
Yes. So
home
no
on
Zion.
Siakam.
It should still be a good game, but however, the big blockbuster game is the Battle of LA. We have the Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Los Angeles Clippers in the Battle of LA. This is going to be entertaining. Now, obviously, the Clippers aren't going to have Paul George. He's still dealing with that shoulder issue. Hopefully, he heals up because I want to see this team, man. There's been a lot of speculation, a whole lot of debate about who's going to win, and I want to see these teams healthy. It's what's best for TV. Personally, I'm pulling for the Clippers. I just like the Clippers team a lot last year. I think they have done a good job since trading us Blake Griffin and rebuilding them. I like Lou Will. I'm going to root for whoever Lou Will is playing for. He's one of my favorite players. But Pistons Post, man, who do you got winning in the first episode of the season in the Battle of LA? The Clippers or the Lakers, and why?
The Clippers, 100%.
Oh, don't say 100%, man. That's going to bite you every single time.
I don't know. I just love their depth. I just don't feel like the Lakers have the, like, if AD or LeBron is gone, I just don't know what they're going to do just because the Clippers' depth is just so amazing. Like, I feel like their whole team, they're all good players. And I feel like the Lakers are kind of relying too much on AD and LeBron. So I just find that as one of the problems, but I got the Clippers winning this game.
Well, don't forget about Alex Caruso, man. That guy's a fighter and
Yeah,
underdog.
my boy.
No mistake, man. Who do you got winning the first episode of Battle of the LA?
Huge shocker. I'm going with the Lakers.
I don't think it's a huge shocker. I think this should be 50-50. I think we should all be split on this one because it's a tough one.
Yeah, and I think the reason why is because I think that this is going to be, to me, a showing of Anthony Davis to come this game. I think he's going to really take over the game for him.
He's injured.
Oh, wait, he's injured? That's right. Damn.
He injured his finger or something.
Yeah, I forgot he injured his finger. That's right. I'm still going with him, though. I'm still going with the Lakers. Though, because I don't know, man. I just feel like there's going to be a chemistry problem more so with the Clippers right now. I don't feel like they're going to win this. I don't feel like I just plain don't feel like they're going to win. I think LeBron maybe and the rest of the team there, you don't know what they're going to come with because just like the depth is, like you said, is not similar to the Clippers, but you don't know who's going to step up in these situations. And I think that's what's going to keep the competitiveness going with the Lakers. They may sniff this one out. That's why I'm going with them.
I believe AD played with that thumb injury in a preseason game. So
you're saying he's gonna play?
He should. I have him. Well, hold on. This is my source. I have him in fantasy. I'm looking at him. It does not say he's out, doubtful, injured, or anything. The latest update said that he had a thumb injury and played limited minutes Wednesday. So he did play in the preseason game, then they rest him Friday or whatever it was. So it's looking like he should be good to go to play this game.
And that still could be a 30-point or more game for him. Even with a injured fan.
Very well could be. J-Mo, man, what do you got for us in the Battle of LA?
Well, I was going to go with the Clippers because I was worried about Anthony Davis not playing. But Anthony Davis playing, sorry to say it like this, the Clippers don't stand a chance. I do think one thing with the Clippers, I honestly, I've been watching basketball all my life. I don't understand how people think because Paul George is some non-dominant personality and Kawhi is some non-dominant personality, and they both play defense. Everything's just going to work really well with the Clippers, and they're going to play so great together. I'm not buying it until I see it. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are both MVP caliber players, and they play the same position. Show me the team that was able to do that have two players MVP caliber at the same position, and everything just went great the first year. This never happened in the NBA history. So show me the team. But so I think they'll have some struggles. But if Anthony Davis is playing and Paul George isn't there, I think the Lakers will be able to pull this one out. I was gonna go with the Clippers. I do like their roster. I love Lou Will. Like who doesn't like Lou Will? But I
Right.
think it's gonna
Whoever
be a
he's
long
guarding.
cover. I think Montrezl Harrell is gonna surprise a lot of people with his 3-point shot. But it should be a good one. But if AD is playing, I have to go.
Like I said, man, it's tough. It should be 50-50. Bravo, man. You there?
Here, but it's the voice is nice. Hear me?
Yeah, you're a little echoey. Real quick, man. So that way people in the chat don't get annoyed. What are your thoughts on the Battle of LA?
I can't hear you very
Mhm.
well.
Can you hear me
I
now?
can't hear the question. Yeah, I can't hear the question. But if it's Lakers or Clippers,
He said,
I'm
who
gonna
do you
choose
think gonna win
Lakers.
between
Like
Lakers and
Lakers are
Clippers?
better.
Alrighty, that was an awesome take, Bravo, man. I appreciate it. He is at work, so I'm gonna give him a pass on that one. But like I said, I'm gonna go with the Clippers on this one, man. I like the Clippers' depth. AD is going to be a nightmare if he plays. Um, there's not too much you can do to stop AD. I mean, what can't this guy do? It's tough. It's absolutely tough to guard him. But I think all in all, I think the Clippers have more weapons. When you have a caliber player like Lou Will coming off the bench, that's a tough answer as well. I think the Clippers are deeper. They're a better defensive team as a team. Anthony Davis is probably outside of Kawhi Leonard one of the most underrated defensive players in the league. So that's going to be fun to watch. I like the Lakers' depth at the big man though. You bring in JaVale McGee, you bring in Dwight Howard. That's pretty good backup quality centers. So, like I said, man, this should be a 50-50 one. It doesn't matter who's home, who's away. It's going to be a Lakers home game because it doesn't matter. They play the same arena. So it's going to be fun. Much watch TV. Like I said, I'm going with the Clippers, but who knows? Anything can happen. But I think that's pretty much all we got for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and send this to final thoughts. We've almost been on for 2 hours. It does not seem like that, but this is what we're going to be doing every Monday, 8 o'clock on my channel, just talking some Detroit basketball and NBA news. We'll be recapping the first 3 games of the season next Monday as a group, grading them. So you're going to want to come back next week for that one. But Nomus J, man, what do you got for final thoughts for us today?
Oh Lord, yes, basketball is back. I cannot wait to see the fruits of our Pistons' labor. See how this team meshes. Now again, I warn everybody again that this team is gonna do a lot of similar things. They're gonna come out at times with a starting unit, but that may not be the long-term one. They're gonna be doing a lot of things where they're testing the chemistry out with different players that they bring in. So don't if somebody that you wanted to start game one is not starting game one, and J-Mo, don't you say nothing. Uh, and please rock me, man. I'm coming. Like I said, I'm getting healthier and healthier, so I'm rocking back with y'all with video content, man. I still got videos. Let's go practice them out tomorrow. So just stay with me. Thank you and blessings to everybody in the chat. Blessings to everybody on this chat with me. Good to have Bravo back, and thank you.
Appreciate you coming out. No, I mean, you always come in late, but you come in so strong and so factual. It's hard to be mad if you're coming in late. J-Mo, man, what do you got for final thoughts for us today?
Well, Norman said don't say nothing, but I will say nothing. Dwayne Casey, if you don't start Luke Kennard over Bruce Brown, this is a horrible coaching decision. And until Bruce Brown show me he better than Luke Kennard, I'm gonna stick to it. Now, back to the Pistons. I think we're gonna start off the season 2-1. If we lose to Indiana, I wouldn't be surprised, but I think we're gonna start off the season strong. Well, the Pistons always start off the season strong, and I'm just gonna pay attention to the point guard play and how Blake Griffin is playing and where his health is like. But regardless of that, I'm glad that Kyrie Thomas was able to make the team. Hopefully that we can get to see Steve Mikhailuk. I think Steve Mikhailuk is the one player on the team. Even if he's not getting minutes, he needs more minutes than like a lot of these players. He should be getting 20 plus minutes with ease. Him and Luke Kennard and Derrick Rose, that's a great situation. I did not like that Reggie Jackson, Luke Kennard, Derrick Rose lineup. I don't know what Dwayne Casey was thinking with that. But Christian Will making the team is good for us. But I think we'll start off strong. We'll see how it goes. But Dwayne Casey, you don't stop disrespecting Luke Kennard. That's all I gotta say.
And that's very good final thoughts from JMO. Bravo had to leave, having some connection issues, cutting in and out. But Bravo, man, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for the 2 super chats. Thank you, Everything King, for the super chat. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys in the chat today. If you guys have not already done it, please hit the like button. No Miss J, 313 JMO. Their links are in the description. Be sure to subscribe to them. If you're on Twitter, go follow Pistons Post. Bravo also has a YouTube channel, but he is a very busy man. So he's not always uploading on there, but he knows his stuff. He is very good for draft day. So you're going to want to go ahead and check him out too. Wednesday and Thursday, I'm going to go live during both of those games. So come out there. We'll talk play by play. I'll break the game down for you. Tell you what I'm seeing, what I'm liking, what I'm not liking. Good, bad, or indifferent. We'll be going live there again. But I got to say thank you again to everyone who came out. Great turnout. I'm glad basketball is back, man. It's just been an empty void. And the way that the Lions have lost 3 straight, it's hurting my heart. So I'm glad to have my first love of the Pistons coming back.
We'll win on Sunday.
We're not here to talk Lions anymore, man. We'll see. We'll worry about that Tuesday. See where that's going to take us. But Pistons should have a pretty decent season. A lot of talent across the board. Wednesday is taking forever and a day to get here. It cannot get here fast enough. And with that, I'm going to leave you guys. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow with a video for the pregame. I'm surprised the Pistons didn't make a trade. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But thank you guys again for coming out. See you guys later. Peace.